My name is Zoltan, Destroyer of Worlds, dude.
So,
What's up?
did you watch the new Trigun episode?
I don't believe in Trigun.
I mean, in Trigun We Trust.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Did you? So this is like this is a really big departure in terms of character from what the original was like.
What way?
So
Him like not wanting to kill people?
no, I'll explain it. So this guy's this guy that shows up to kind of attack our boys in the episode is a kid named Rolo, right? Who gets experimented on by the old guy that was with knives, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. So he's a bad boy.
And he's left in this windy town to, I guess, safeguard. I don't know.
The non-windy town.
Non-windy town, right? And this is one of those episodes that like truly feels like an anthology episode compared to like a continual story episode.
Oh,
you know?
no, for sure it was.
Like
it feels like anyway.
Yes, and like it's mostly used just to kind of I think hammer down like Vash's history with like helping people, but also Wolfwood's like just straight up realism. And like
also the fact that, I'll be honest, anyone he helps, they're pretty much all dying. To some degree. At least with what they're showing us.
Yeah.
Like Knives will just come in, or his goons, and just wreck shit.
Yeah. So in the Trigun in the 90s, the one that was the original Trigun, this guy is actually a gun-ho gun. Which I don't know if they've actually said that word in this new one. I don't even know if they're going to say that word, but the gun-ho guns is like a bunch of bad guys. And the first one that we kind of encounter, I think it's the first one. It's right after the Brilliance Neon Dynamite stuff, which I think is the last episode you didn't get to. Was this one? I think we got to like episode 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And episode 11 where this guy's like introduced.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's like the first kind of antagonist for this bigger story.
Interesting.
So his name is Diablo something. I can't remember his full name.
Diablo, baby.
It's like Diablos. I can't remember, or whatever. I can't remember his name. But he's a little more intimidating in the old one, just because of like the crap he's willing to pull. But it's also where they in the original anime, it's where they introduced that Trigun or that Vash's like left arm is fake, which we know right away in this one,
right?
Because it's metal, it looks metal. But
he like shoots it off or like something.
No, I won't. I don't know if I should spoil that. I'll do a light spoiler for the older.
Him
it's a 20. It's a 20+ year old. No, his left arm is a machine gun. It turns into a machine gun that he can shoot.
Who?
Vash.
The fuck? That's a huge spoiler. I didn't know that.
That's in the old one. It might not be in this one. It might be in this one, but in the old one, it's what his left arm is a weapon. So again, that maybe I should not have said that, but at the same time,
I mean, the manga's been out forever. The other anime's been out forever. If they do it, then they do it. If they don't, then they don't.
What I'll say so far about this new one is that Vash is not as action oriented as he is in the old ones. Like he's only shot his gun a handful of times in this new one. I think we're 5 episodes in.
Well, they're really making, until this last episode, they're really making what is it? The like bullets, like a pretty rare.
Yeah.
Like you don't find them everywhere.
Yeah.
And then this guy just like machine guns are like. Blah, 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 I'm just like, where the fuck is the bullets coming from?
Yeah, and it fires air blasts too, and you're like,
yeah,
what is this guy? But he like Vash has fired a lot more bullets in the older ones than he does in this one. So he might not have a machine gun arm in this one.
Maybe he has a machine gun.
Again, like the redesign for Vash doesn't really leave room for the machine gun in his arm.
You know what I'm talking about.
But we'll see. I don't know. It'd be an interesting thing to throw in there with him right now because then he didn't have to account for that ammo, quote unquote. But
maybe he uses his blood.
All that to say is that this is the first episode of Trigun where I was not completely sold on.
This was the first episode of Trigun that I was like, what am I doing here, God? No,
where are you?
No. Okay. I didn't really enjoy the episode.
Yeah, I think it felt very rushed, very quick, very convenient.
I liked the story.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was, to me, like the part where he's like talking to him. I guess spoilers for this episode. Actually, you know what? Maybe not. No, never mind. I'll just say this. I liked the humanity that Vash was showing in this, and his whole thing. I like what's his name? Wolfwood. Their dynamic where it's like, dude, be realistic. you're almost lying to yourself, like that you're gonna like really protect people in this way. It's naive. It's almost like childish.
Yeah.
And so I like that both of them. I think that both of them will kind of do things to help each other in the future. Again, haven't seen the original or a lot of it, and then. I haven't read the manga, so I don't know. This story's been on for forever, so if you do get mad...
Yeah, 30 years at this point, so...
Sorry.
Almost 30 years.
We'll be more careful, but I feel like that's not crazy.
I'm not worried about... like, if I spoil something from an anime that was finished in, like, 2000 or 1999, I'm sorry. I don't mean to, but at the same time... This is a known quantity. This anime's out for a long time.
If you really like anime, you would have watched it.
Like, Trigun's obviously like a legacy anime. If I spoiled something 11 episodes into a series that came out in 1990-something, like, I'm not going to feel too bad about it, personally.
Yeah, the 90s stuff is hard. Like, if like someone like Cowboy Bebop, you say something and people are like, dude, I haven't seen it yet. You're like, okay, well, like, it's forever. Like, are you going to see every anime in the world? That is harder. Now you have to make a choice on, like, what do you watch? Because there's so much shit out right now.
Yeah.
But, and for people like me who are getting into anime later, that's who I think I'm more worried about spoiling, is for people who get into it at a later time. That's all, because they haven't had like the time.
At the same time, saying his left arm is a machine gun is not a
that's not
a relevant plot point. No. It's just something they reveal about that.
It's just like, cool. It would be like maybe a spoiler if it like gets him out of like a bind, and you're like, well, I didn't see that coming. That's it.
Even then,
but even then,
you're talking about a single thing that might happen in an event, not really even story based.
Yeah.
So, this is episode. I wasn't. Yeah, I think what really kind of muddied it for me was like, there's not really a timeline thrown into this episode, and like a lot of stuff happens that feels like it's over time.
No.
Like Rollo's transformation, like how long did that take? From being a kid to this giant hulking mass, like what was like that time frame?
I don't know.
Like how long has this town been empty? Since Vash was last here.
Well, I guess that is true. I guess we have to go off of the age of Vash, which he doesn't change. Because I was like, well, obviously like 40 years, dude. But I think it grew him up faster, right? That's what I kind of would have liked to know context wise. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I
usually do, but in this story, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that later too. I felt like maybe you could have like kind of explained like, okay, Vash said he'd always protect this kid, and now he's back here way later.
Yeah, and he's back here almost in a way where like they almost drove by it. He was asleep.
Yeah.
I guess he woke up, but I thought he was waking up because of what?
Well,
so this is the other thing.
They crashed a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah, kind of.
They saw the dead bug on the ground. They swung out of the way, and that's what woke everyone up.
But you remember when, what's his name? What's the guy with the beard's name?
Roberto?
Roberto.
Wait, you mean the guy that's with Meryl?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roberto.
So when he's like, oh, there's like a monster out here or whatever, and then Vash like wakes up, and in my mind I was like, oh man, like that story made Vash remember something about this part of town, and I was like, okay, does that mean that this was an ancient like tale? And he's like, oh, they were by this city, or has he known forever that Rollo was this thing? Because in the show, that's what we see.
Like he's able to call him out of it, or he's able to
he just knows immediately it's him. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so like there had to have been that, but again, you only have 25 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know if he knows immediately it's Rollo. He just sees Rollo making like a stink later on after he's been shot a couple times, and then he screams out Rollo at him, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's the kid. And I think we all knew that as like the audience, because like it does a pretty good job of like showing that this is two different timelines in the show.
Yeah. It does,
It's like something you're not gonna like it's obvious in my opinion when you're watching it, and the reveal of it is it's not supposed to be like a twist either. So at least they don't do it like that.
Well, anyway, let's talk about what we're here to talk about. Anime. No, I'm just playing. It's funny because we used to talk about the games a lot, but now that we have a thing for that, we're doing a little bit less here.
I wish this was a better episode. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
But now we can talk about the real shit.
I wish there was more of Vash like topless in it.
Yeah. Well, you see him shirtless eventually.
Shredded, dude. It's gonna be shredded.
He's in shape for sure.
Goals. To become 2D.
I'll show you the old version of him shirtless because you see it in the show.
Nice.
Okay.
Well,
so now we got to talk about the 4 animes that we've actually decided to discuss, rate, and promote, quote unquote, I guess at this point. we're going to start off with Tomo-chan.
I don't want to.
It's not a girl, neither do I, but it is what it is.
I don't want to do any of them but Bluelock.
That's all I ever want to do in all my life.
No, we saved it to last.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I reading it? You wrote it.
I wrote the summary for it. Yeah, I'll get the comments ready.
Get those comments
I wrote
ready.
Tomo-chan?
I think so.
I wrote Tomo-chan.
Yeah.
I'll get the comments ready.
I was like, I think so.
I got the comments ready now, so we're good.
All right. So, Tomo-chan, Season 1, Episode 5. The girls of the Olsen family.
Olsen.
I think
it's supposed to be Olsen.
Well, Olsen, like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
What's the?
I guess her other sister's more famous now.
Yeah. What's her name?
The Red Witch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Whatever. But yeah.
I don't know. Don't care. Not good movies. Just kidding. Sorry.
They're not. Don't read the. Yeah.
A feeling I won't give up. This is the whole title. Heart pounding. A gaming overnighter. Okay, I actually do, and now I'm excited again to talk about this. Okay, Tomo and Mizuzu go over to Carol's house. Yeah, she's rich. Mom's also just as off-putting as Carol. No, it's okay. That's part 1 of episode 1.
Yeah, I kind of split it up that
Part 2,
way. Yeah.
Our 3 heroines study for midterms. They all do well. Mizuzu is normally first, ends up second, with Carol being a surprisingly genius, placing first.
That was a weird sentence.
That was weird. But she placed first. Yeah. It's very surprising that she's very smart. And one of the things that she did was like a math question, like just immediately in her head.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, number 3. Tomo sleeps over at June's to play games. They snuggle a little, but not in a romantic way. This might lead to a deeper relationship. Press X to doubt.
Press
X to doubt. I think X.
Doubt. It's going nowhere.
It's going somewhere.
I don't know.
So I liked all of these weren't great. The spending the night one was good.
That's the only redeeming one I think in this
one. I like that they were like enjoying each other, but then again, there is that whole thing where it's like, hey, I'm going to take a shower at your place, and he's just like, him like smacking himself, and when she comes out, his face is red. That already is showing something to the degree of
it's awesome.
He's starting to think about her. He's like, oh my gosh, I have Tomo here. Which before
she's naked in my bathroom. I left the bath water for her. I told her to use it. That's also kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's honestly gross.
It's super gross because
it feels like here, which I feel like is a very super spoiled thing to say. That is very. I feel like first world of like don't use people don't. I mean,
Japan's a first world country too.
That is true.
It's just the way it's done.
But again,
it's culturally different.
Different. Yeah. So. I actually like the idea too. They were like, you just reheat the water. I was like, you have tubs that can do that? That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? That means your bath water would always stay in a certain degree.
Yeah. Well, do you remember how decked out?
Why the fuck don't we have that?
Mirko's, because it's not sanitary. You know how decked out? Remember how decked out Mirko's bathroom was?
Yeah.
With the giant bathtub.
Yeah.
And it was like an all wood like sauna interface, not just like a bathroom. Like it was like a giant sauna.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like it's normally like. Now I say that as a guy who's not living in Japan, but
yeah, I'm sure not everyone in Japan has that, but maybe
it's not sanitary for sure. Like it's the water's being reused after using soap and everything in it. I'm not sure what the filtration system in that is, but
I don't know.
Just reheating it, that's a little gross.
I slurp it up, dude. Sell that bath water.
Give me your bath water, June. I want to drink it.
Give
me your karate
the
bath
idea
water.
that they were like played video games, were having fun, and then it's like, oh, we're gonna go to sleep, and then she's in the bed and she's like, and I feel like she's about to say something right to him about this situation that they're in, and he's like asleep. And so when she was like touching his face and stuff, and I was like,
yeah,
it's almost like a cute moment for her. She's like, oh man, like this is crazy, and then it turns into him choke holding her and is supposedly in his sleep, and then they fall asleep together, or he puts her to sleep together. I don't know which way is better. As the big spoon. And then I don't know, like the way that he reacted when they woke up, she's like in bed or like on the ground next to him. He's like, what?
He was up before she was, but yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm just saying, to me, this did a lot for June. this was like to me like a first time that we see him really struggle with like the whole thing, and it's always been from her perspective, but I feel like we got a peek into his perspective.
I feel like
this episode.
I feel like he's been that way since the show started.
I feel like he's been it.
Like, not to shut you down or anything.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
It feels like he's always been like, yeah, I don't want to acknowledge my feelings, but I'm going to tease.
He has been fighting for her since
the audience
middle school.
about it. Right. You know, like I feel like this is kind of.
So he just loves her, dude. He's in love with her.
I mean, we saw him beat the shit out of those bullies. It's kind of the same kind of thing. I feel like.
Good.
Like he's certainly hornier in this moment, but.
I mean, who's not?
That's all. Well. Hey, Joel. It's I don't know.
All I know is this is wild. I mean, it's not. I loved the parents' reactions when she's like, "Hey, mom, I'm gonna go spend the night," and
at
she's
a boy's
like,
place.
"Oh," she's like, give me a
Already?
grandson or whatever, right?" And I was like, "Dude, the mom is so funny." And then the dad was just like, "Okay," and I was like, "That is because he just trusts June so much that
no, because they don't even view Tomo as a girl."
You don't think
that's
so?
what it feels
she
like
did.
to
She
me.
said, "Have my grandbaby." So obviously the mom does.
The mom does. The dad for sure doesn't, dude.
Okay, so the dad is more so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're interpreting it as.
I don't know though, because the show's not going to like explain that to us. It's just that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good point.
It's not my. Like the problem with this episode is, and this has been every episode of this show, is that there's been one decent bit. Mm-hmm. Like the bullying bit last one where Tomo beats the bullies up and then June beats them up.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Yeah, but then there's like always like lame misnomer like deviation bits too. They're like, oh, this is not really relevant, you know?
Yeah, that is true.
Like I don't even know anymore with this show. I don't
even know anymore, dude.
It's like I expect like that to be like the norm, to have like a good segment and like a boring segment or like a blasé segment.
Yeah.
Because that's what it kind of feels like now.
Yeah, it is kind of what it felt like. But I mean, the Spy Family is the same way. There'd be like a good segment and then a same way.
Well, I don't want to talk about bad shows. What I want to say is Tomo is just, you know.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Got him again.
Got him. No, it's not a bad show. I shouldn't say that, but.
How much do you guys hate our take on Spy Family? I want to know. Tell us in the.
This is why we don't have people that'll watch our streams. It's because we don't like Spy Family that much.
No, but we had some people come in.
We did.
No, there was literally a few people that reached out to us on
really
on Instagram and said, "Hey, I watched you for a bit. It was cool."
Well, thank you guys.
And they wanted us to do it longer.
We'll do it longer next time.
Yeah,
we'll do 2 hours of Kudelka. We're gonna do Kudelka.
Yeah, we gotta honestly finish. That game is so fun.
Yeah,
and it's very stupid. I also
the voice acting is my favorite part about that game.
I know we really do have to shut the fuck up, I guess, or turn it up more.
Yeah.
For that part, I don't know, but it's so good.
It was a lot of fun. That was a surprising. Oh, by the way, a complete in box copy of that is about $250. So all 4 discs, booklet, case, everything. The booklet alone
which we own.
Yes, the last time the booklet sold individually was $90.
Oh, just the booklet?
Just the booklet.
Whoa!
Now Kuon,
love it.
Kuon, complete in box,
yeah,
sold most recently for $900. Yep. And that's been the
people are so dumb.
That's been the trending price for that game for the past few months.
Let's play it.
We'll figure that one out.
No, we'll play it when the price goes down.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that one out there. Anyways,
that is insane.
Yeah.
Dude, who would spend $900 on a video game that you're not even going to play? I get it. Collectors, I get it. But like, it feels like there's so many video game collectors nowadays. Like the same thing with Pokemon cards.
Why would you buy a house and not live in it?
To get money back.
There you go.
But that's always, well, I guess it's not always, but that's to me a much higher percentage.
Yeah, it's also a bigger risk to do. I mean, but what I'm saying is the value of this thing will increase over time.
That is
Worst case, you sell it for a small profit.
Okay.
Best case, this thing becomes a
diamond in the rough.
Well, that, but also like a prestigious collector's item, which is like a symbol of.
I mean, it sounds like it already is.
It is. Yeah.
What's the highest video game that's ever been sold? I also love how we were talking about Tomo-chan and people were like, wait, what the fuck are they talking about?
I believe a copy of Mario sold for $1.5 million. Super Mario 64 sold for $1.5 million.
Dude, that doesn't make sense.
It was WATA graded at 9.6, which doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense. 1.5 million.
Highest price.
Don't people know that you can just like emulate it?
Yeah. So it's a WADA. I mean, if I can pull it up. So there's a copy of Contra. See, a WADA 9.8 is pretty insane. Sold for 150. This was recent, like last year, I think, is when. So there it is. That last year was.
That's number 2. What's number 1?
Number 1 is probably his Legend. It's a original Mario Bros. That was a
2 mil.
I think it was a 9.8 also. Yeah, and 2 million. Yeah. So there you go. Now that definitely beats up the Charizard, doesn't it? But these are like again, Joel. Wow. These are games.
I wish I was that guy.
So these are games that people bought and kept in plastic. They somehow bought one that had some perfect printing on it too. Like think about that, okay? Like these games are perfectly printed. Like you know how there's variations in prints? Mm-hmm. These are ones that didn't have as much variation. They kept it in a heat controlled environment, away from constant moving air where dust couldn't get in because the plastic would erode. And
how
I don't know.
These people know.
This is what I'm saying though. People are putting them away in these ways and they're maintaining their value.
Like how did they know though? It's so crazy.
A lot of people will shove stuff in a box, put in the attic, and over time heat damage will get to it and discolor, which immediately screws off your water.
Totally
screws off your possible good ratings.
Man.
So it's.
I guess I'll take it back, bro. Getting physical copies of Switch stuff is not a horrible idea because the Switch is gonna die in probably the next 4 or 5 years, or go away, and then.
Again, this is a Mario game that came out in '88, and then another Mario game that came out in '96.
I'm gonna get my Mario golf game retrograded.
Retrograded?
Is that what it's called?
Just graded.
Oh.
Retrograde means to go back in time, I think, but
that's what I'm doing.
To get it graded. Yeah, you can submit to WADA. I don't know how much a WADA grade costs. WATA.
Waldo? No,
WATA. I think it's close to a couple $100 for those submissions. They're a lot more. You're not talking about a card. A card's nothing to grade compared to like an actual box of stuff.
Yeah, I know. You gotta look at the fucking box.
There's more points of articulation.
Sign me up
box.
to be one of these guys that looks at these fucking boxes.
I bet you most of them have either degrees or years of experience.
Yeah.
I mean, these are guys that like it's the same thing as a jeweler, right? A person that inspects jewelry and like passes like inspections on that. I shouldn't say the same thing, but it's the same kind of thing where you have to like look for the micro details and make a decision based off, okay, is that a 9.8 or 9.7 based off this one little scuff?
Shit.
It's not a stuff field you just walk into, and I bet you they're underpaid.
I'm just going to start my own company. Hey, if you guys need anything retrograded,
nope.
Send it my way.
Joel can send it back in time.
I will take a look at it, and then I will go, that looks like this. And then I will seal it, put some numbers on there.
I may be shooting myself in the ass on that cost for a WADA submission, but they're more expensive than like a CGC or a PCA or PSA. I mean, grading on like a Pokemon card or a Magic card.
You want to talk about Tomo-chan?
Yeah, Tomo-chan's ass. You want to do comments? Let's do comments.
I don't even know how we got to streaming, but then the streaming went a totally different route.
Yeah, we're all good. I think we've talked about Tomo-chan enough anyway. We do meet Misuzu and Carol's mom, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say we should talk. We met everyone's parents. Everyone.
And they're all just...
Well, I guess not students.
Carol's mom is just an older version of Carol, which means that's what Carol's going to be like in the future, where she can do mental battles against Misuzu, you know what I mean, or whatever that means.
Yeah.
Misuzu's mom is exactly how Misuzu is. And Tomo's mom's a lot like Tomo, but less. The parents aren't interesting outside of Tomo's dad and mom dynamic.
Yeah.
Every other parent is like, okay.
You're like, okay. Yeah. I hear you. I'm with you on that.
Beyond Carol's English pronunciation being very good. I love you. I love you so much. And you're like, whoa, you actually pronounce that really well for English. So, comments. Quake ZYEE. Quack ZYE. Quack Z.
Quack Z.
Dropped 3 comments. They're all the same person, my bad. For the top comment. And the top one is Tomo Best Girl. The next one's Carol Best Girl. And the last one's Misuzu Best Girl. That's right. This one person has 3 top comments.
Misuzu for sure, Best Girl.
So far, Tomo's winning by a solid 600.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's literally about her.
This is Fried Bryce. That's a hilarious name.
Fried Bryce.
Wow. First anime I can recall having the English-speaking characters speak decent-sounding English and only semi-decent-sounding Japanese. First time it's felt so genuine in a show to me. Lol.
And of all places, Tomo-chan.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What?
It's just interesting.
Yes. Yeah,
but again, a lot of people love this show, and I do too. Like, I genuinely enjoy watching it. So it's just not like the best thing in the world.
I've got 2 more comments.
Do it.
Daneru Nashi, welcome back. Okay, nobody's going to talk about when they were flexing about staying up until 11:30 at midnight. I almost died because today I stayed up until 6:15 a.m.
I almost died because that's how I feel now as a 32-year-old person. I'm like 11:30, 12. I'm like, damn, that's late.
That's how I feel in the off.
But that's usually when I'm going to bed. Like, that's like around the time. But I'm like, this is late. I need to go to sleep.
That's how I feel about the off season of shows. Is like when they're going, I'm like, yeah, I gotta be up to 2 or 1 anyway, so I'm good. But then when I'm not going, I'm like, I gotta go down by 11.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm stuck up until 12, like last night, I get home and even though you're like we have friends over, I'm in bed. I just go right to bed. I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm done.
Yo.
Yeah. Last comment from Lou Rowe 332. Why are the moms so hot?
It's not that they're hot. It's that you're horny.
It's not that they're hot. It's that you're horny. I think we were all thinking it. So
that's what it is, my guy.
That's what it is,
girl.
my guy.
Whatever does it for you, baby.
I mean, whatever you. I would toss that 6 out of 10.
Fucking 2.
Really?
No.
Oh, jeez.
I'd probably keep it at like a 7. I enjoyed the stories for what they were. Didn't really progress any plot. I did enjoy the video game one a lot more because I personally feel like it is adding more. Like, again, it's just tension being built upon itself until it bursts at some point. I'm assuming that's what it's leading up to me. But yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this is a longer story, and it reminds me a lot of Comey Can't Communicate, where we want the romance, but I think that it's still ongoing. I don't even know if they're dating yet, but it's leading more and more and more. And the end of that story will be them dating. That's just what it's going to be. That's what it's
99% agree with you. And then 1% of me just wants it to be more than that. And will foolishly believe it's going to be more than that.
Interesting.
That's where I'm at. Like the potential that the show has to be an actual like phenomenal romance over it being a decent like slice of life anthology anime, it just gotta ever so slightly go that direction. Now that might not be the direction that writer wants to go, that's fine, but ever so slightly, and I would be like a much happier viewer.
You'd be a much happier Lukey Pookie.
A much pookier Lukey Pookie.
A much pookier Lukey.
Much pookier. Let's go to the next episode.
What are we doing?
My Hero Academia, I think. My Hero Academia, Season 6, Episode 131. Izuku Midoriya and Tomura Shigaraki.
You did read it. You got him. Got him, dude.
I wasn't going to do it, too. All right. Inside One for All, Deku is talking to the rest of the people in his head, ? They test him to see if he has what it takes to do the right thing, even when it's hard. We'll talk about that. We then find out that because One for All has so many powers inside it, that's not true. We're going to
just say you do it. I knew I was going to fuck this up.
Except those who were cork. That's not how you spell corkless. That's just cork. Like corkless.
Yeah, cork. Like a cork.
That's not. It's
English is fucking stupid.
Quirk, like the QU.
Same thing.
Okay.
Quirk.
Time is ticking down, and everyone knows about One for All. Deku makes the hard choice to leave his friends at the MCU. At the MCU.
See, that's what I made that. I did that on accident, and I laughed. Dude, fucking, I'm an idiot.
And goes on his own to fight for justice to keep everyone safe. All right, couple things. First off,
that was a horrible explanation by me.
So they test him to see if he was doing has takes to do the right thing, even if it's hard. So what they ask him is can you kill Shigaraki? And the person who asks him that is
his mom,
which is his grandma.
No, it's Deku's mom.
No. Not as no. I don't remember the last time we even saw Deku's mom.
Dude, she's gonna be in this next episode.
Dude, she's actually the main. She's the successor of Deku. That's
For
who gets.
sure, because
That's who gets
they
it
showed
next.
it in the preview because he has to say goodbye to everyone, and she has to now know that her son is going to be hunted down by the worst criminals in the world. So
yeah,
that'll be fun.
I'm very excited for this next
That'll be
episode.
fun for her. Well, yeah, me too.
So the first thing is they ask him, "Hey, do you have the balls to kill Shigaraki?" He goes, "No, I saw a kid, not a villain." Well, there was a villain, but he saw a kid looking for help inside of Shigaraki when they had that interaction. And furthermore, he goes, I know what One for All was earlier for you, but One for All has the power to save since All Might took it over, basically. And like that's how they defined it. And so all the users kind of like affirm him and say, yeah, we were testing you. You're good.
Except for those two dudes that are just with
the two dudes in the back.
The two dudes that are Blair Witching.
Yeah.
There's like face in the corner.
So those are two other users, right? Like
right.
I can't remember what number they are, but
their powers haven't awakened yet, or they haven't given them access or whatever.
Well,
that's what at the very end of the thing, he's like, we need everyone's help. That means you two better get ready to start to yeah.
Does he have everyone else that's like there? Okay, so what does he have right now? He has Black Whip, which is the bald guy. He has One for All,
right?
Which is however Toshinori used it, right?
Right.
Because he didn't bring a quirk in, right? But he made it stronger. We have a Danger Sense. Mm-hmm. That's 3 quirks total, technically. Mm-hmm. I thought there were like 5 users talking to him, or 6 users talking to him.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't know all of them, and we have Float. He has Float too, right? Because he has Nanaus. So he has 4.
Yeah, for sure 4. And I'm trying to remember if there was like a 5th one. But probably not.
No, because I know
because I know all of them.
No, I'm not going to answer that question. I don't want to say anything like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just know that I thought that one of the guys we had saw on that screen hadn't shown his power yet.
Then maybe
but now I'm trying to think if I was even right in that one. Like I think it
was 4 people, and then the All Might glowy guy that was in the throne. But then there was one guy who I don't recognize, and I can't remember.
So is Deku the 9th user?
Oh fuck! Yeah, I don't know.
So there should be 8 people, and we know that Deku and Toshinori Yagi were quirkless, so there should be 7 quirks total, right? Including One for All.
Because one of the quirks. That's right. Because if they don't have quirks, you don't get.
There's nothing to pass.
Yeah, there's nothing really to pass.
Like number one's the first one, the younger brother's quirk is what All Might was using technically, right? And so All Might and the number 1 is that's 1 quirk right there, I guess.
Yeah.
So then we need to figure out the other 6, whatever that is, and then I think we have 4, so we might be missing 2 or 3.
I think we're missing 3.
This show needs to do like a good recap of this. Real like as a manga reader, I don't even have it in my head. You know?
I don't know, man.
So I would love like a good recap on it, or like a good like a table level explanation of that. So, so there's the other question they ask him. Oh shit, was so why the dying of old age? So essentially, what happens is a quirk. I think this is kind of touched on a little more in the manga, a little better. But essentially, like you're born with a quirk. A quirk has a toll on your body, and when you're born with it, you also are born with like a body that can handle that toll, right? So you'll still live to be the normal age, but Right. So it seems like everyone, whether they get a quirk or not, though, is born with the ability to manage a quirk in their body. The moment you have more than one quirk, your body has to do double work basically to maintain your body and not fall apart.
Oh, so, I think I just understood something.
So he has One for All. The guy that died, I think it was the Danger Sense guy, but he has One for All and Danger Sense, and that was putting double strain on his body, and so he dies of old age at the age of 40. And they didn't. This is also what annoyed me. The cracks on his face. That's how it manifests. They didn't even say that really. I feel like
they did.
They did?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm an idiot. The cracks on his face, that's what manifests.
He moves his hair and he says this is... He does it vaguely, like this is like, kind of what starts to happen or whatever. But and you're like, okay.
But the users weren't actually able to figure this. The users basically figured this out really recently with Toshinori because they realized that no one's ever lived past 40 when they've had One for All and a quirk. But there's only been one example of that, which is that guy. Everyone else has died in battle or passed it on quicker,
That's true. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, those are the 2 things I wanted to clarify real quick.
For sure. Yeah, I didn't do a good job of that.
You're good. There's a bit of a weird lore dump there, and I think the anime moved through it a little fast, but it also needs to because it needs to get back to the action.
Get back to the action. I need it.
Yeah, and then we saw Deku say goodbye to his friends and family.
Well, kind of. We just saw him write. Well, we didn't even see him write letters. All of his friends got letters, and they were like, "He's gone." And then Gravity Girl just goes,
"You idiot!
You idiot!"
And like doesn't cry, which I thought she cried in the manga, but I guess doesn't cry. I thought she cried in the manga.
She probably cries.
She's she's a focal point for a reason for that one, but
yeah, I know they're gonna get married. Ship them.
This has also been my complaint with the manga is that like there's obviously a romance that you're trying to build up, and you're putting no effort towards it. Come on, dude! Like in this section of the anime, I feel like this is where you want to like this is like the Ginny moment with like Harry, right? Like the danger's getting more real. Maybe you should take this seriously, like Harry and Ginny from Harry Potter, right? No, okay. All right, we're moving on.
I know what you're talking
What
about.
did you feel about his outfit? I know we've seen it in the intro, but to see it,
it's stupid.
You don't like it? The bunny head?
I don't get it. Still, I know it was his old uniform. I still just don't understand the bunny ears part of it. It's not bad. Doesn't look. It just kind of reminds me of Donnie Darko.
So, do you remember when?
Does that make sense? Does that remind him? Especially now when he has like the thing over it,
a little bit,
like it. But
yeah, so it makes like
the
bunny ears make sense with a little bit of continuity correction. He has it in the very beginning when he fights Bakugo.
Right. Yeah,
like,
I remember.
Exercise.
Yeah.
But then when he comes back after training with Gran Torino, he hops around a lot. Because that's what his quirk allows him to do, is hop around a lot of back and forth.
Okay.
Like remember when he's doing the training exercise, he's jumping on the pipes, eventually
yes.
slips and falls. But it's kind of like that, I feel like is like more bunny quote unquote esque. At the same time, it's not like that doesn't make sense because he made the bunny idea before he learned how to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It doesn't.
It's okay. It looks cool. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just ready to see him start like growing again, because again we haven't seen this whole arc has not been, which has been very cool. It's a war, so he's not really growing a ton.
Well, it's just repercussion time for like 4 episodes. I feel like
exactly.
I was like, come on, let's get
so now
back
it's
to
like
it.
Let's get back to the fight,
and I think we will this next episode. It feels like
we will,
and especially based on the preview. It like muscular's in the preview, and I don't know if you saw who was hurting, but he was fighting in the Class B guy. Who can do tremors? Yeah, that's who Muscular's fighting in the preview.
Nice.
So
I didn't know he was fighting someone.
Well, it shows him
in the preview.
Well, I guess.
I showed him over. I didn't pause it and go, "Who is that?"
Oh, that's who that is. That's that guy. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this next week. I think we're all kind of ready for this to kind of pick up again.
Yeah, it just needs to pick up a little bit. Because again, very needed. But they should have done like lore dump, like 50% of your episode is lore dump, 50% is maybe like action happening around town, or like the heroes like losing, just show us more of what's going on out there.
So in my opinion, and I don't think this is how it did in the manga, but what I feel like we could have done is move on to some of the more action oriented bits, especially if it concerns Deku, and then as stuff's happening, flash back into it here and there.
Yeah,
that's what I much would have.
I feel like that is a good way to do it.
I would have much rather had that because it would have kept the pacing a little more consistent rather than just a complete abrupt, not technical halt, but
No, it is. It's literally it's like if you're playing a game that's very action heavy, and then you walk into a room and it's full of books, and then the books are the story, and you're watching a character grab it and read, and like you have to learn about the story before you're moving on to the next bit. That's what it feels like.
But a lot of it.
It's
like Metal Gear Solid.
So like Metal Gear Solid, yeah. I was also thinking you don't have to do this, but like in Undertale, there's like a section where you have to read the whole story. Or parts of it.
And you mean just, when it plays the guitar song too?
Yeah, and you don't have to, but you can.
Yeah, it tells you the whole timeline of the actual history of how Azrael got done.
So there's just stuff like that where it's like, hey, this is a game, and then pause. There's this. That's just what these episodes feel like to me. Not bad. Not if needed. I want to know the information. It's literally in the story, so I want to know it, and I think it's very needed. Just again, like you said, pacing. It just feels weird.
Yeah. So, no, I'm with you. Do you want to do some comments?
I'll do some comments.
Do some comments. I feel like we talked about it enough, right? Yeah.
Hey guys, let us know. Did we talk about it enough?
I mean, we're 40 minutes into this episode, so.
Are we? There's no way.
That's what it says. 41. I mean, there's probably some fluff in there, but
Yeah. Sue is best girl says that neck though.
oh, so there's a press conference also.
Genus.
I mean, yeah, so Genus has this giant tux on and the lapel.
So does he just have a giraffe neck? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't.
Do we ever see it? Can you just? Is that a
I
spoiler?
No, I don't think you do.
God, that would be awesome. I hope. I don't know if he's dead. I'm not looking at Luke. If he's alive, and at the end of this story, I want to see that fucking neck. And if you don't show it to me, I'm gonna be pissed.
I swear to God, dude. That, like, it's so drastic on this character, and like he has this giant lapel and giant collar for his shirt. Like it's so tall. It's amazing.
Okay, these ones, there's not a lot of funny ones in here, but and there's a lot of quote unquote spoilers that I feel like
you shouldn't say.
Probably shouldn't say. If you want to go read them, you can read them. But Digimon 33880 says, "Damn, Spirit All Might crying got me good. He's so proud of his student."
The All Might that is in the in headspace in the black space. Is that what you want to call it?
Yeah.
Mori?
Yeah.
The All Might that's in like Deku's like meeting space for all the users is just like a manifestation of Toshinori Yagi because he's still alive.
Yeah.
So I think when he dies, that might switch over, but I don't understand. Like they don't really tell us enough about that, to be honest. So
yeah,
there's not the rules about this headspace are kind of. Like again, the Deku being able to talk all of a sudden doesn't make sense to me still. Like I don't know if he's like resolve is how you do it, but then again, Deku's not really changed his resolve. I guess he's just reaffirmed it vocally. I don't know. It doesn't really feel like the whole rule of Deku being able to talk in this weird headspace or not being able to talk is stupid. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Go on. Tangent, sorry.
It's a good tangent. CBR125 LOL says, "Depressed teen has a long nap and speaks to dead people."
Out of context, yeah.
Out of context, yes. And it's true. I mean, again, needed, but I'm going to give this episode a 6, to be honest. It was, again, needed info, very boring. And the only reason that it wouldn't be like a 2 is because the information genuinely is needed and very important about the future of this. But if this would have just been like someone's backstory that we didn't really even need to know about, I would have been absolutely like, this is like 1 or 2, because the pacing was horrible. It just felt very like okay. And then what you're even saying with his voice starting to come out, like he's like muffled the whole time, which again, very funny for the voice actor, especially in the very beginning parts, because it was like really like wild. But I'm just like, okay, like here we go. I understand like what they're doing, but the fact that they spent the majority of the episode in there was crazy to me.
Wow.
So, because again, Deku hasn't changed at all.
Well,
he fight
Shigaraki.
No, I'm not saying like he hasn't changed. I'm just saying his mindset towards everything hasn't changed or shifted.
It's more like he was explaining it for the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
reaffirming what he's doing, which again is fine, is probably needed, because what they were alluding to some degree, is that all the heroes are losing their hope, their faith in the system, and and even that like good can beat these guys. It's kind of like, dude, evil's gonna win. I'm just gonna go be like a banker or something. Like, fuck this. That's kind of like what a lot of these guys and girls are like thinking and stuff. So I'm just like, I get it. So it's needed for that, but again, boring to me. The way they did it to me. So that's all.
I mean, I don't think the pacing's all over the place. I think the pacing is just shot to shit right now. Like it's just not there. And like the way they jump cut to the final scene in this episode is Deku standing on a rooftop with a scarf, putting on his hood, and like it goes from him being in his coma to basically that after the presser, I think. Yeah, or something. So there's like I already feel like they cut stuff out of there for like a possible future flashback kind of thing. Which sounds like what they're gonna do, but it still feels like it's been like crawling.
Watch this next episode be all of the backstory, and then the last 5 minutes is him.
You have no idea how worried I am that actually is going to happen.
Yeah, there's a part of me that thinks that is going to be the case. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But
I have a theory of how it's going to. This next episode's going to end, and I can't even tell you because it's a big spoiler.
yeah,
It's actually not big of a spoiler, but how it's going to end.
don't do it
And
anyway.
if I'm right, I'm going to say it next week and say I'm 100% right. Joel owes me
Hey,
dinner.
this is what I want you to do. Write it down on a piece of paper here, and then we'll open it up.
If you look at it, you were going to hate me.
No, I won't look at it. The
Okay.
whole point is that we'll just keep it in here.
Okay,
We'll
I'll
do it.
that.
We'll do it after
I'll
this.
do that. Yeah.
Because I'm curious. I want to see it.
And if it's not that way, then my bad.
Or put it in a note. Do that. Put it in a
It'll
note
time,
on your
like, it'll
phone,
time
and
it?
we'll have a timestamp on it.
Okay, I'll do that right.
There you
Anyways, I would score it a 7.75.
Okay.
A little better than Joel's, but still, I'm getting fed up.
I'm fed up. No, I love One Piece. Just kidding. I love my hero, and I love Deku, and I do love this world. Some of my favorite moments in anime literally were from like when he was fighting Stain and stuff. So I do love this series. I'm just wanting it to move forward. Like it did a
Same.
really good job, made my jaw drop a lot this season, and then now I'm kind of like, okay. And I'm assuming it will do more. I also am losing hope in the manga though because of what people are saying, and I don't even read it. So I just keep hearing there's deviations or like different things are going to go on or whatever, and so I'm like, is this going to be worth it to me? Is this going to be something that?
Let me just say this: the last 2 chapters of My Hero have some of the best panels in that whole show. Like visually, how they look, how they were drawn.
Doesn't mean anything because it might not go back into the way of.
Well, it might not. But what I am saying is those last
Just
2 panels were so incredibly exciting for me.
Okay.
With however you want, whatever action or whatever, nothing. Can't say anything else beyond that. But
yeah, please don't.
like the last 2 last 2 chapters have been really good in my opinion.
Okay.
Like
That's
really good, like interesting, fun, like cool.
Nice. There you go.
Beautiful artwork too, like some gorgeous artwork choreography.
Sound beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just a picture of Deku, Gravity Girl, macking out.
That's okay. All right, let's go to the next episode.
Okay.
Before we talk about minors making out more.
Oh, yikes. I forgot how old they were. Hell yeah.
I get to read this one again.
Okay.
Okay.
And his buddy daddy?
Buddy Daddies, Season 1, Episode 5, Crunch Time. Despite their victory with putting Miri in daycare, the guys are starting to lose more money every day, which is good that they addressed that because we talked about that last week.
Yeah, we literally talked about that.
And
I was like, wow, dude,
Yeah,
I
cool.
can't believe that they are
They're dealing with this.
here. Yeah.
They need to go back to work. So they take the bottom of the barrel work just to get by, but then the daycare has to shut down because of sicknesses. Our sexy guys are now in a real pickle. What will they do? What if the bartender watched them? Yeah. What do you mean them? Anyways, yeah, that wouldn't work. As long as Miri doesn't call them Papa, which she does now and everyone knows, but they all think it's worth it, and we do too. I have no idea what that sentence means. Anyways.
Here, I'll explain what I was saying. So I read it. Let me read it for you in the way I would. Oh, God. Oh, everybody. Hang on to your butts. So what if the bartender watched them? Yeah, that would work.
Bartender watched Miri though, not
But
them.
I did say them. I meant Miri.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what if they have to go work? So what if the bartender says, and he's like what is the official word? The controller.
Handler.
Handler.
They don't really call him a handler, but
that's what he is.
That's what that the girl in Spy Family was. That's
right.
Yeah.
So that's what she's the middle, or he's the middleman of like, here you go, here's the so and so's giving me these hits and you get to go do them.
Is Q-chan? He's basically like the owner of the bar, Licorice Recoil.
Yeah, it's pretty much Licorice
which
Recoil.
is probably why I like Q so much.
Yeah. Oh no,
Q,
he's great.
He's my favorite character in the show now.
Is he?
After this episode, yeah.
So I mean, again, they run into a pickle. He's kind of like, okay, so you are.
Well, they're running out of money.
They run out of money, and yeah, I don't know.
They can't afford their lifestyle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's honestly though, dude, like Miri's never been so adorable than in this episode. When
she was
sees
really
a
adorable.
dog at one point.
Doggy,
and like her mouth goes into a diamond shape,
yeah,
and she's just like enamored by this dog.
So this is something I wanted to talk to you about. This they have been going so hard on making her a lot more cutesy. I feel like the faces, like the diamond face is a perfect example. When she does it, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that in anime before, or really. Like, I feel like they're just trying to do different things and not just like mimic Anya or mimic maybe someone else, but they're really just, I feel like, going for it. They're like make her best girl type of thing, you know. So it's interesting.
They're diving in head first for it, for sure. I think she's coming into her own, to be honest.
You know what's really cool is this is great for cosplayers who don't have a lot of money, because these are just normal people.
Yeah.
We can be buddy daddies for Halloween, brother.
I bet you Ray's we could, but Ray's outfit, his jacket looks expensive to me.
Well, it's
leather
all
jacket.
Money. They got money.
But
money.
Cosplay would be hard for that one, I feel like.
They just buy a cheap one.
That off purple jacket, unless you just get a black one, I guess. But
you can get a black one. You could literally just go to a thrift store,
borrow a friend's.
If a friend has one. You can wear a robe.
Okay. This episode's pretty good, though.
Yes.
Overall, this episode's pretty good. Yes. I think
everyone knows now. That was the whole thing where it was like, hey, like he could kill us.
Q-Chan knows.
Q-Chan knows.
Q knows. That's who knows.
That's their crew. That's what I mean. Everyone in their direct circle knows now. They're not hiding it from him anymore, and he's their boss.
Yeah, well, he's there. Yeah.
In quotations.
I will say that, like, when he says "I know everything" and is like actually like nice to Miri, I was like, oh, Q's not like he's not someone we're supposed to be afraid of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what I felt like after this episode. I was like, I should be afraid of Q because he could probably do some shit to our boys. But
I think that's the implication too. Is that like, hey, if he finds out, like we're probably gonna die because this goes against their protocol.
And he even says, you know what happens when you betray the organization, and he even says it to Ray, and he goes, "You know better than anyone else what that means," and that really makes me think his dad did something bad and got killed because of it, or his mom did something. You know what I mean? Like that's what that makes me think of.
Man, I don't even know. Or what if he did and then his parents died because of that?
Maybe they allude to something. And I want to know what that is, and I'm excited that the depth is being. They're planting the seed.
They're planting seeds for some depth.
And that's
Miri did run into our other assassin. We got to see his face.
Yep,
looks pretty generic. But
he picks up Miri and then puts her back down.
I know he looks at her, and then I was like, "Where's this gonna go right now?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Is he gonna like take her?"
Yeah.
And then he just drops her down and like walks
away. Yeah.
But what sucks is he's now seen her.
Yeah, so he now knows.
There's for sure if some that will. You're right for sure. That's coming back some way. Yeah. So it's
and that kind of cements him as a possible antagonist.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be a bad guy. Or
and I wonder if someone's gonna give him an order to kill or kidnap or something. You know, kill Kazuki and Rei, or kidnap Miri or something. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't that be crazy? Oh man.
If this ends as him like as the quote unquote bad guy, and it's like a face off between Rei and Kazuki versus this guy, and he has Miri, I would be so excited.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So excited to see that showdown.
Yeah,
this guy's more competent than Rei and Kazuki. It seems like.
Yeah, or at least more ruthless.
For sure, more ruthless. Absolutely more ruthless. He murdered that entire safe house.
Well, yeah, I mean that's like how you get. I mean that's like the best way to do it in Hitman. You just kill everybody. Then there's no witnesses.
But then you don't leave without a trace. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, you do. There's just so many bodies. They got to figure out what it is, dog. Yeah. They're like, dude, there's like 60 people dead here.
Yeah. That's true. That was last night.
Yeah. We're not too good at that.
No, we're not. We'll talk about that. You'll hear that in our video game Splashdown. Is that Fridays?
Video game Splashdown. Is
that Fridays?
Yeah, it's Fridays.
Yeah, you'll hear it in. Oh, if you.
You'll hear it last unless we
Friday.
switch it, we could switch them. I don't know.
We talk about Hitman some more again. So
Hitman some more.
I like anime on Tuesdays. I was talking about that with someone else actually recently.
Oh, nice.
I'd rather have the anime further away from the release date than
right.
closer.
Yeah, because that way it gives all y'all the time to watch the animes, and we're always like we're pretty much the weekend behind. So whenever like episode 6 releases, our talks on episode 5 come out.
Yeah.
So to me, like that's good because then you've heard it.
And like for the people that watch it day and date, you know, it's probably not as good for you. But the people that don't get to watch it day and date and are like a little bit behind, it's also good people who are trying to avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Did you like it when she got lost and Ray had to run out? Like with his arms at his side, like a dummy.
Everyone is talking about that. It was really weird to see him run like that. I didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, I don't know like how
intentional it was.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to say what I was going to say.
Like
I was going to say something that would have been censored.
Like it looks like a T-Rex.
Yeah,
was it what he was doing? So I don't know, but I mean, it was goofy. I mean, again, terrifying. As a parent, I'm like, oh my god, she's like wandering by herself, and in my head, I'm just like, well, Maze is different. I was like, well, this is a different, like, you know, place, culture, etc. Except for then everyone was like looking at her like, oh my god, what is she doing out here? And I was like, okay. Like, I would be pretty scared.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah.
Parents, like, where the fuck is she? Yeah. And it's like such a big city. So, yeah. I don't know, man. That stuff always stressed me out a little bit. Yeah. But I knew it wasn't going to go somewhere crazy until she ran into the guy. Dude, my, like, spikes, I was just like, are we doing it this early? Like, is she going to get kidnapped this early in the game?
This show already showed a dog with a bullet in its head.
Oh, well, why are you always bringing up that? People are dead, guys.
I get it. But you don't usually see dead animals, murdered dead animals on screen very often. True. And it's usually when it's like not that often, it's usually a little more like, oh, you know, like this show will get very dark.
Yeah.
And has gotten dark. And I don't like, would it go to the point where Miri gets killed?
No.
Could it?
I don't think so. You have to do a lot to kill a kid, I think.
I don't think it would personally.
Yeah, especially a kid that young. That's crazy.
I'm also not hyper like 100% sure they wouldn't do that. Like, I think they wouldn't. But also, like, there's a part of me, it's like, this show's gone some dark areas. Like, if Ray, like, lost an arm or something, you know, or like...
I can see stuff like that, but dude, as soon as, like, if you killed... I literally think the fan base would be in an absolute uproar if they killed Miri. That would be crazy. That's like someone shooting Anya and being like, ruh-roh, like, Spy got Anya, and everyone would be like, well,
no, I don't think Spy Family can do that because Spy Family's not a dark show, but this show's gone to some dark areas.
I guess that's fair.
That's my only argument. And now, do I think Miri would get shot? Probably not. Yeah. But like, I don't think Miri's
go there.
I don't think Miri's untouchable.
Yeah, I don't think she's untouchable either.
Anya's untouchable. Like nothing bad's ever gonna happen to Anya. Like, it may seem like it would, but it's not, dude. She basically got through a bombed like hideout. She's fine.
That is true. She almost did get blown up.
She's fine. She's never gonna die.
I forgot about that.
Even when she's like threatened by villains, someone's gonna be there to save her.
Yours always there.
Yeah, I
kicking people. Wow.
For Buddy Daddies though, I feel like it's a little less safe.
Yeah, that's true. And it's an original, so there's no we don't know.
Yeah, there's no way to know ahead of time. So
yeah.
Comments?
Oh yeah.
That's on you again, huh? Is it?
Yeah, I do have it pulled up, I believe.
Cool.
All of them are spoilers.
There are less comments for this show than Tomo. I want our listeners to think about that.
Caillou really looked their daughter in the eyes and said, "Your papa is a complete loser."
Q, not
Q.
Caillou.
What I say?
It's Q. You said Caillou. So we didn't talk about that, but one of Miri's projects is like she has to like talk to her parents about their jobs, and then tell it to the class when she comes back. And Q says that Kazuki is a stand-up comedian who's terrible at it.
Yes. So yeah, he's a stand-up comedian.
And then Ray is an oil baron from the Middle East, which is just like the worst. And then they show her drawing a picture of him in like an outfit from like the
Middle East.
Whoa, dude.
I thought it was a wedding dress. When she was drawing, I was like, is she drawing them like getting married?
It was like a stereotype from like it was a stereotype drawing basically.
Yeah, it was,
which is hilarious to me, but I could see people getting offended about that.
But that's the next one. It's literally the oil baron Ray Papa drawing got me dying laughing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Sorry, I might have ruined that one.
No, it's okay. It's all good. Let's have a stand-up comedian and oil baron meet cute. Says Noah Count. That was close. No, there's not a lot of good ones, man. It's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
I can't read that one.
Let me see it. Yeah, I probably can't say that one
but that one's good. Nah,
we're good.
We're good.
Yeah. Sometimes the comments win, sometimes they don't. But then again, there's a lot less comments in this one than anything else. So, I would probably toss this one like an 8.25, 8.5 in that range.
I'd probably get this like an 8.37,
5. No, you don't be a shithead. Come on.
You're right. 8.4.
No,
1.
No, don't be a dickhead.
No, yeah, I'd give this. This was an 8 for me. Maybe 8.5. It was enjoyable. Yeah, I mean, Miri was very cute in it. There's not really anything that was negative about it,
right?
But they didn't really. This is one thing I didn't like, though. They didn't show us really any of what they were doing. Now, I believe they weren't killing people. I believe what they were doing was surveillance.
Yeah,
that's the bottom barrel jobs. It's like you're just surveillance
getting
guys.
Photos, right?
So it's like that sucks ass. I have to sit in the car or like be in a comfortable place, like taking pictures and shit. So again, would we really want to see that? No. I wouldn't. Like, it'd probably be boring. Who gives a shit? So, they focus on the thing that was important. But less action last episode and less action this episode. So that's okay. But I want a little bit more action.
Yeah.
Give it me.
I think, so in my opinion, the only thing that really was like a knock was the music was kind of like missing in this. I feel like a bit like it wasn't a very well done musical episode in terms of like having a decent soundtrack for stuff. For me, in my opinion,
la la.
Other than that, the show, I feel like the episode like needed more. That's all. I don't know what that means, or more to the actual plot of this episode. Like I think it's fine. I just don't know if like it was enough for me to call it like a great episode. If that makes sense. Like I don't know if it needed more. It just wasn't like top tier quality material for a story. I don't know. Maybe does that make sense?
That makes sense.
I don't know. Like it's good, just not.
Makes sense if you're fucking crazy.
Not excellent. So.
Just kidding.
Okay.
What are we doing next?
Bluelock.
No, we're not. Are we here? We made it.
Finally here.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
1 out of 10.
No. Okay.
Bluelock episode 17 Donkey from Shrek. Well, here we are. Another week of Bluelock. I bet you're wondering how I got her. Barou.
Barou. I think it's Barou.
What
did I do?
You wrote her.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
You dummy.
I'm dumb.
Barou constantly sucks. Barou constantly sucks, but is also unwilling to change his playstyle. By the halfway point of the episode, the score is 3-1 with Isagi and his team on the losing end. However, Isagi realizes how to use Barou and ties the game to 3v3. Unfortunately, Chigaraki.
No, oh my god. Chigiri? There's not even a K in there, dude. Not even the right anime. Chigiri.
I always think of that. Who is Shigaraki from?
Shigaraki's from My Hero.
That's right. We just were talking about Shigaraki.
Giganta Tamashi.
Unfortunately, Chigiri evolves and brings the score to 4-3.
Okay. Now, when I say I've watched this episode 4 times or so, I mean I've watched this episode 4 times.
What do you mean, though?
This episode's perfect.
This episode...
It's almost perfect, sorry.
No, this episode was perfect.
This is, oh my God. So the first half of this episode... So here's what happens last week. Last week I read a comment that said... anime like watchers aren't even ready for like true Isagi to show up or whatever they said,
Mm-hmm.
And if this is who Isagi really is, he's untouchable. Like his evolution to truly become the master tactician, to outread and outplay literally everyone in the field, even when it's only really 2v3, right?
2v3 right now.
Like this is insane.
I was on the edge of my seat, and every single time he's like, how do I do this? And I'm like, man, in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, what are they gonna do?
Like, how do you use Barou
epic
here?
move? Yeah, like I'm always like, oh, he's gonna do something, and he's gonna make him like shoot the goal and finally pass. But then he's like, no, I just keep doing it. I'm gonna use you against me. And so then he knows that they're gonna steal and they're gonna do all this stuff, and then he's right there. Like that moment, I was like,
yeah,
like that was such a good.
There were multiple moments in this show where I got chills. The first time is when he's thinking in his head and all the puzzle pieces are swirling around, and I think this needs to be called out now. I'm gonna say it now. The actual sound design, not the soundtrack, the sound design, the sound effects they use. Whoever's doing that, killer job.
Yeah, it is true.
Amazing job. It's like Fire Force levels of quality. Which, like, I know Fire Force as a whole is kind of like, you know, a little more debatable on if you like it or not, but it's got a bit of device, but the sound design for Fire Force is excellent. Sorry, and you can hear it a lot in the drops and the way they do the sound design. But they did it here too. And so the first moment when Isagi is like trying to break himself down and figure out how to rebuild himself back up, which is what Barou will never do, which is why he won't grow, because he will not evolve. He's decided, no, I'm good where I'm at. If I can't do it where I'm at, I give up. So that's why Barou's bad right now. He's not evolving.
Barou's bad forever.
He goes, I see. I have this all the wrong way. The music shifts, and the music like does a drop, and then he goes, I have to devour Barou. And he shows his face after that.
Yeah, dude.
And
yes.
And then when it goes to the half, it goes to the eye catch, and then it comes in with the dun dun, you know, like this giant like heavy soundtrack of like him like understanding. Oh, I have to reorient my entire playstyle.
Yeah, exactly.
To take advantage of Barou's arrogance.
Right.
Amazing. First, amazing moment for me right there.
God, I don't know. I this show truly, as we were talking a little bit yesterday, I think is becoming one of the greatest animes of all time. Like this story is every single week I'm coming back and it's building on itself. Every episode feels like it's better than the last. It's just like, oh my God, like these amazing moments. Like I will say, the very first kick that Isagi does in the first episode when it's like in what's his name's face?
Kicks it in Kira's face?
Yeah. That's still one of my favorite like moments. I don't know why the music with that. It just gets me.
That's where I feel like I learned. Oh, so this is Bluelock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The nice guy does not finish first here. He might actually finish last.
Yeah.
Because Kira's a nice guy, right? Like he's trying to be helpful. But I guess I have to ask this question because now I'm wondering because like the whole point of that was like, no, I have to beat the strongest person here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Kira was the best player in that room?
Probably.
Isn't that a weird
skill
thought?
wise?
Yeah. That like
the first player gets knocked out because of his kindness.
Kira might have also been a genius.
Yeah.
Just not the right kind.
Yeah. I know, dude. We thought they were going to bring him back and stuff.
I think they are going to bring him back still.
No, I don't think so.
I do. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That would be super sick.
I think if Chigiri ends up like knocking himself out due to like a medical thing, they bring Kira back. That's it.
Dude,
full stop.
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. What if... Okay, you want to get into some...
Before we get back to the story? Yeah, let's do some theories.
So theory...
Actually...
should we finish the story and then talk theories?
Yeah, we'll do theory crafting after all this shit. But next moment, it's amazing. Sorry, I want to point this out as well. The animation was about the same as they've always been. The detail on the characters' faces was
better.
Insane.
Yeah.
Barou has a couple like close-ups of his face.
Yeah.
And the hyper detail they put into like his... And same with Isagi, too. It's like
the eyes, the veins.
Yeah,
and stuff like,
the strands of hair, you know.
Yeah.
Best moment in the show after Isagi gets after Isagi gets the first goal is when he calls Barou a donkey.
Well, Barou called him that first.
Barou calls him a donkey all the time, right? Which is actually censored from a worse word, but then it's censored. But when Isagi like uses Barou to score that first goal to get the 3-2, he says, "Stay out of my way, you donkey."
Yeah, dude, crazy.
Yeah,
I know. So this is, without spoiling anything, this is kind of what I read. So the one little panel was not this part, but it was Isagi being like a savage, right, to someone. And so I'm like, this is kind of more what I'm excited to see is just Isagi really kind of come into his own and just start obliterating the competition instead of being, oh shoot, I can't, because I feel like every single time he's he has a moment of these guys are so much better than me and I'm going to lose. But then he kind of overcomes. And then this time he had a brief moment of that, I think before the game, or maybe it was in like an last episode. But now he's just like looking at it as an experience to move forward. Yeah. And he just like this, he's like, this is exciting. Like when Shigiri made...
Who?
Chigiri made the goal. He didn't go, fuck. He was like, this is exciting.
Oh, what Isagi did?
And so I was like, yeah, dude. Like, because then to me, I'm like, okay, then they're probably now gonna just like absolutely slam these guys because it's getting them hot and horny for the football.
Yeah,
he agrees with that.
No, I mean,
I am too.
Just saying,
fully tortured the entire time.
Chigiri evolving at the end of this episode was a total like out of the left field for me. Like I didn't see it coming at all.
Bricked up.
Sure. What do you think about that?
About what? About being bricked up?
So Chigiri evolved at the end of it. I didn't see that coming at all. That came out of nowhere and was perfect for me.
I did not see that coming either. I kind of thought that it was like, oh, cool. They did one. It's again, villains will overcome good guys. Good guys figure out ways to overcome. They do that right. So I was like, okay, cool. So Isagi figured it out. Now they're gonna win the match. And then when he did that, I was like, okay, so there's more to this story. There's more to what they're going to do. And it is very cool because I think this is maybe the first time since they've all been playing together where someone else besides someone on Isagi's team evolves. In front of us. Like in real time.
Except for Nagi when he did this. Well, Nagi...
No, I'm saying before when they were all playing together, like the matches, like everyone was evolving in those.
Oh, so
I'm saying since we've gone on to the second part and everyone individually is kind of growing, we just assume they're growing because they're inside of the game now, right? So they would have gotten knocked out. But now we're seeing on the field the opposing team of Isagi's, they're evolving because of what Isagi is doing. And so now he's also causing not just his own team to evolve, but the other team as well.
Yeah, I guess prior to this, that only happened one time. But if you're just saying for the new stuff, then for the new stuff, this is the first time we've seen someone even outside of Isagi evolve. So
I love it. Dude.
We've only seen really Isagi kind of
I think Nagi a few times. When he's done like the kicks when he's using his thing, but then he's like figuring it out. I guess it's maybe not.
Well, he did that in the game that they played against Nagi.
That's true.
That's where Nagi evolved.
What about the backwards kick? That's how he scored the goal in the very first group.
The backwards kick?
He like when they kicked it to him and then he kicked it backwards and it was a goal because he went up to kick it like this, like on his chest, but then he allowed it to go backwards and just kick it and it went behind the guy.
Yeah, I mean the hyper control I think is something he learned. I mean
that's fair. I guess it's all the same.
I mean
thing.
Technically he's always had hyper control.
Yeah.
But he had that one goal when he was facing against Team Y, Asagi and all them, where he was at like the left corner of the goalpost and he catches it and in midair he turns it around into the goal. Like he does like a weird spin kick in midair.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's I think where but that's all what starts that is that he's able to do an action without Reo's direction.
Like direction, yeah.
Yeah, for the first time. That was his evolution. Now, in terms of what Nagi's really going to become, I don't know. Because in reality, I feel like Nagi hasn't really evolved too much. Like he's had his weapon, but like he's basically been a chemical reaction more than anything. So I want to see what like Nagi becomes more so of. Because like in reality, I don't think Isagi's on Nagi's level yet, no matter how good Isagi gets.
I just miss Barou. No, I'm just kidding.
I want Barou to evolve real bad.
I want Baruto to be in here.
Baruto. Gross. Do you want to do theory crafting now?
Huh?
You want to do theory stuff?
Let's do it.
Okay,
so let's
I have
see if I can remember what I was going to say. Oh, okay, so let's say Isagi's team wins. They choose Chigiri. And
that would be the most sensible choice. I think the show might try and dupe us, but yeah, that's what I would think.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So this is on top. This is a theory on top of that theory. They go to the next game. Chigiri breaks his fucking kneecap in half, and then they bring in the boy that you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the only way that he would come back. He's not going to come back in the final episode. He needs to come back and be like, hey, Isagi, you fucking got me out of here. I don't even want to play with you, you son of a bitch. But again, I'm not going to lie. I don't even think he's going to come back because he would have had to gone through all of this stuff as well and not gotten kicked out.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it past Ego to have him do it like on his own and just have him say, hey, the way that I observed you play would be more conducive to train you in like an individual environment and not with the team. Like maybe that's what that is, you know? I don't know. I really don't know. Or maybe everyone that's gotten fouled out has gone to goalie training. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But
my other theory is that they lose and then Nagi gets taken. And then Isagi and Barou have to be on a team together.
Well, so I don't think anyone's gonna take Barou after this match.
I think it has been very much proved. Like he's like toxic. Unless he changes, he's dead weight to the team.
He's already dead weight, right?
He's dead weight right now. But I'm saying like
dead weight that Isagi's genius mind can take advantage of. But he's dead weight, right?
Right.
Like they would much. I'm still sure. Like in the long run, I bet, or not in the long run, but like if they had Naruhaya, this might be a better match. You know, like they might have already won by now.
Yeah.
If they had Naruhaya. And maybe that's not appropriate to say, but like, I don't know. Like, my theory is that Chigiri does get picked. I don't think this is a losing match. I think this is a winning match. If it is a losing match, I would probably lean that Isagi gets taken more than Nagi because Isagi is the one in this match who stands out and that they've all pointed to. And whether Reo wants him or not, doesn't matter if Chigiri and Kunigami both want him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there's a way for Isagi to go join a new team, and then Nagi and Barou have to figure it out. But if Nagi and Barou have to figure it out, I doubt that team goes forward.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's interesting.
It's interesting. It's real weird.
I'm excited. I love it. I do love that they they just kind of keep us guessing. And they've done so many things where they've won or lost that I can see it going either way, which is so cool. Like, they literally could lose. Because guess what? That doesn't mean Isagi, regardless if Isagi gets taken or if he doesn't get taken, the possibilities are endless. Yeah. Because it's not necessarily life or death right at this very second.
Right.
So that's interesting.
My other theory, though, and I think this is more general and kind of bigger, like bigger picture, is so I think they win. And like my preference and what I would love to say is I think they lose and then win again. So they go from 3, they go to 4, then back to 3, then 4 to 5. So it'd be 3, 4, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
That's my current theory, but I don't think there's enough time in the show
to do that.
Left in the season to do that.
Yeah.
I think if we have 7 episodes left,
unless they don't end. I mean, like, we have no idea where they're going. Like, what are we doing? Are we just getting to 5? Everyone has teams of 5, and then what happens?
I think this season ends with second selection ending,
right, and third selection beginning,
or whatever that. I think this is third selection, and then whatever. It ends with this game we're playing.
Yeah,
and we move on to whatever's next. That's what I think is going to be how it ends.
Yeah,
it could do it. Are you okay?
Yeah,
it could do a cliffhanger ending, or it could do it like a Haiku did, right, where it does like. There's a random third season of only 10 episodes or 9 episodes, whatever it is. But
don't do that.
I don't think that's what that is.
I would be pissed.
I wouldn't hate that. If it was like this a season 2 was like 8 episodes, 9 episodes, just to get that bit.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Or
just give me more Bluelock. Ooh, Bluelock movie. That would be sick.
Yeah.
I would for sure go to theaters.
Absolutely. So I don't know.
Gotta get some Bluelock jerseys, man.
Because of the time frame, I think we're probably going to do the rest of this third match, a 4th match, and a 5th match.
I can see it.
That's it.
I can see it.
And that would be the end of the selection. So I don't want that to be the case, but I think with what we have timeline left, that's how it's going to be. Now the 4v4 match, I think is going to be, and I really, really hope so, but I think it's going to be Gagamaru, Wanima, and Raichi, and then a 4th, whoever they win against. And I don't know who that's going to be, but I would assume that'd be the next match. And this is going to be like, the weird part about that is that Raichi has an insane durability, right? Like he can, or endurance. Gagamaru is unpredictable, which is what they talk about in the end of this episode, right? And Wanima actually seems to be a decent person based on how he talks to them. So I feel like the team composition for those 3 can be like really, really good in terms of like being like a crazy strong defense with an unpredictable offense, like especially with the passing ability of Wanima. which is the crocodile eyebrow guy.
Yeah, so
the brother.
Dude, I don't know, because there's a part of me that if you keep breaking up these teams and putting on the people from, the original, Bluelock that we were with in the first core, it leaves all of the rest of them behind. So there's a part of me that feels like they might just they're showing us, and maybe they'll come into play, but I feel like maybe they're just going to be one of the team that have 5, and they're just going to be there because there's going to be multiple teams that have 5. It's not just one team of 5.
It's not just 2, right? It's like 4, right?
So yeah, I think it's 4. It's either 4 or 5 teams. I don't remember how many people that they said that there were. So
well, I imagine most of our team Y gets brought up. I think.
Oh, for sure.
I hope we lost Naruhaya, so we're already down to 10.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to keep the bald kid, although I'd love
We
to
haven't
see
seen him.
We haven't seen him.
We haven't seen the backstabber. I can't remember his name.
Kuon.
We haven't seen him either.
We also
for a fact that he's somewhere and someone else like they're there.
There's another brown-haired kid that we don't even remember the name of that's not going to be there anymore also.
Well, there's a part of me I'm like, is this show so ruthless that they don't even bring it up? Like they were just like, yeah, they lost.
No, well, I think they'll bring it up. But
that would be so funny.
I think it comes down to Isagi, Chigiri, Raichi, Gagamaru, Bachira, Kunigami, and maybe Kuon.
Like he finally evolves to like a good soccer player, and then they have to like actually fight him instead of him being a little tricky bitch.
Well, Kuon's ability was jumping, I think.
Was it?
Like he could jump the highest, and yeah.
Oh. I thought that was the weird, unpredictable guy.
Gagamaru's just unpredictable. Like he's got the length and like the reach to do it, but that's what they even talk about.
Gotcha.
Just like he's just he's good at it, but it's not his thing. It's like he's unpredictable, and he's got like his scorpion kick that came out of nowhere that really should have scored, in my opinion. Was like the kind of like that's like who the hell would do that in that moment, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, man. I mean, this show is 10 out of 10 for me.
Oh yeah.
Do we even do comments?
No, we can do comments now, but it's also 10 out of 10 for me. If I could rate it higher, I would.
Let's do it. We can do it at that. 11 out of 10.
Okay.
Luke's literally watched this 4 times.
Yeah.
I've watched pieces of it, like probably 2 to 3 times, but I've not watched the entirety of the episode.
It's excellent. It's just so good. It reminds me a lot of like when My Hero was first doing its thing, but also I think the soundtrack for this is just on point.
So good. Yeah.
The soundtrack is really, really on point.
It really is.
All right, George Galkun. What if I told you Isagi had that dog in him? Yeah, that's for sure true, dude.
I still don't. I guess true, but I don't know what that means.
I don't know, just that aggression or
dog.
That, yeah.
He's got. What if he's got a little bit of chihuahua?
A wow. Jabriel 97.
Jabriel,
yeah, instead of Jabriel, maybe, I don't know. Bro really called King Donkey. Let Isagi cook.
Yeah, dude.
Pretty good. Cook. Yeah. Dead Musk Ox, humble the peasant king, which is Barou. I no longer human. I Barou. That wasn't very girl boss of you. That's the last thing. Yeah, that's the last thing I'm gonna do. I think those are decent comments.
10 out of 10, let out of 10. Yeah. It was very good.
And it's obviously my anime of the week.
Anime of the week, easy, hands down, best.
I will say this was a lightly weaker week for the rest of the animes, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, fucking pick it up.
So Bluelock had an easy win here, even with Trigun. If we were to somehow include that, like Bluelock's an easy win here.
Even with Trigun, Nier.
Oh, I haven't watched Nier since the first episode.
Have you watched anything? Vinland, and then was it Tokyo Revengers?
I haven't watched that, although I hear it's good.
It's pretty good. I'm nervous though. Again, I really like it.
The episode was all right, but it was also very, very bloated.
Because it's like big boobs.
No, just a lot of standing there and like recurring.
Luke answers me seriously instead of laughing.
Quiet moments when there should this is like the end of the Wano arc. I guess we're getting to.
I don't know what that means.
It's just an arc, and it's the end of an arc, where you expect like stuff to be popping off left and right, and like it kind of is, but also like there's so many battles going on at once that like you have to keep touching back into people and making sure like the people know that like, oh, these people are fighting,
It's like Star Warsception when there's like 3 fights going on at once.
More than that.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like they just like kept doing it,
and then
you're like, wouldn't this be cool? But then you forget as a writer, like, oh fuck, I have to keep going back to every single person.
And like in the manga, it all works out great. In the anime, it just feels like bloated right now.
Got it.
So it's definitely not that. That's not anime of the week either. But Bluelock is fire.
Bluelock. anime of the week.
Again, I really think it's becoming one of my favorite animes of all
time.
time.
And I agree. It's for sure top 10 right now.
Yeah, it's one of the best modern animes I feel like I've ever seen.
Easy, hands down, best sports anime. I don't give a fuck about that.
Haiku is great.
Haiku show, man.
Haiku
Comparatively to this, it's shit.
No,
and
I
you
think
heard that from me.
Luke. Haiku is excellent. It's different than this. This is definitely more character focused. And Haiku kind of is, but it doesn't go into the same like level of like technicality that Bluelock does. Bluelock is very technical, I feel like.
They're like, oh, let's make a team and be friends.
You also have the same, I think,
we're playing fucking real sports here.
8 characters that you've had the whole time in.
Also, I'm sorry.
I think you have the same 8 characters you've had the whole time in Haiku.
Sorry.
Like Bluelock has got a billion. Look, everyone hears you apologizing.
I'm sorry.
I'm done talking about Haiku. Clearly, I'm overdoing it
to
now.
all the volleyball fans. It's okay to like volleyball. I have a lot of people in my life that love volleyball.
Like your wife?
Like my wife.
Okay, there we go.
She played volleyball for a very long time and was very good at it.
My wife played some volleyball too.
Yeah. But Bluelock is better. So
yeah, it's I think I want to. Well, Haiku's got 3 completed seasons.
There's supposedly a good basketball one coming out. Everyone's like getting really hyped about. Yeah,
it looks good. I want to watch it. We'll see how. I don't want to watch something that's trying to imitate Bluelock, or I don't want to watch something that like makes me think of Bluelock. You know what I mean? Like, if I watch Haiku, I'm not going to think of Bluelock. It's like way different in terms of like its whole vibe. It's, right. You know, but if I watch an anime that's going to be like all about this genius player on the court, I'm just going to think about Bluelock again and like. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for signing on this week.
Thank you. We love you.
What was that for?
Because I'm just going, whoa, yeah, I don't know if I would even honestly want to watch the Slam Dunk one.
And if like the reviews are really, really good for it, then maybe I'll.
Then maybe I think so.
I'm not a big sports anime fan either.
Right, I know that's why this has been so shocking.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, we appreciate you guys a ton, and thank you for loving us on both Spotify and YouTube. And
yes.
If you're from YouTube listening here, we would love you to subscribe to us or follow us or whatever it is on Spotify, and if you could rate us whatever you want, that would be great too. It always helps us, gives a little bit more notoriety. And then for all of you people out there who are just listening with your ears, we have a YouTube channel and you can subscribe. I know some of you have from when we talked about it last week, because I think we're at 24 subscribers now. So
that's almost 10 more.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it, and we love you guys. It's been really fun.
We're getting over 50 views in videos, 40 views in videos, and that's that's 40 more views than we didn't have. So I'm super into that.
Yeah, no, it's very cool.
We're on YouTube now.
We're on YouTube,
which is interesting.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah,
we're YouTube celebrities now.
YouTube C-Labs. Oh, you're putting a lot of stuff on here.
Yeah, I mean we've been posting. It just hasn't been that good.
Yeah. Now it's more consistent.
Now it's consistent, and
honestly,
at least there's a setup.
Your screen caps, the pictures are really on point, dude.
Good. I'm glad. I literally just use a service that I paid for I'm making like the video games I'm making. I'm trying to make them in more like watercolor-esque type of things, and so that's what I'm doing.
I dig that background.
That background?
Yeah.
That one's pretty cool.
But the way you keep alternating them is really cool also.
Yeah. Yep. One day, though, it would be nice to have an actual standard background.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, probably. That we don't phase through. I know we're ghosts sometimes. Luke's head's probably a ghost
right now. I wear a green hat a lot, so. I mean, it's not
Was
perfect.
that the hat you wore last week?
No, I wore it.
No, I think you wore it. I had no idea why I did that, but your head was phasing.
I'll wear a black hat next time.
Yeah, you go.
That'll
help.
Yeah.
That'll help.
All right. Well, make sure you watch or listen to our video game episode we dropped last Friday. It's the second part of the second episode of the series of Video Game Splashdown, which is like for this season, since we're only doing one episode of anime a week. It's like our alternate episode. Screw you. I talk with my hands. Okay.
I do too.
It's like our alternate episode, so go check it out. If it does well enough, or like if we enjoyed enough, it might go longer. But right now, we're really just enjoying this time of like talking about games. So check it out if that interests you. If it doesn't, please keep listening to our anime episodes and everything else. Yep.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Cheers.
Fist bump, mate.